All right, good morning football, rolling right along here on this Tuesday morning. We'll solve inside the NFL Network newsroom. Well, Browns wide receiver Josh Gordon missing 2 full seasons in the NFL due to suspensions, but battled his way back onto the field last season, putting up 335 yards and a touchdown in 5 games of action. On Monday, Gordon officially signing his exclusive rights tender with the Browns. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reporting it's worth $790,000. Gordon will be a restricted free agent in 2019. The Browns hoping Gordon, teamed with Jarvis Landry, can recapture some of his past magic when he put up more than 1,600 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2013. Meanwhile, Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks is padding his bank account thanks to a contract extension. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo both reporting it's a 5-year deal worth $50 million with $25 million guaranteed. Kendricks had a career-high 136 tackles in 2017. Will Nick Foles be with the Eagles after draft day? That's still to be determined, but one thing we do know, Foles would love to be a full-time starter again. He told KVUE in Austin, Texas, quote, "I know my spot in Philly. I'm signed for 1 more year and love the team. I'll be ready to go whenever they need me, but we'll see." And finally, Larry Fitzgerald hosting his 8th annual charity softball tournament this weekend in Arizona. That got the trash talk going hard with teammate David Johnson, who will be playing in the game. Johnson tweeting, "I'm a bat like Ken Griffey Jr. this year," to which Fitz responded, "That's disrespectful to my Uncle Ken for you to even mention your swing in the same breath as his." Softball trash talk on Twitter is very real, Kay, very much so, like the Papa Shot Twitter trash talk that happens as well. It's a thing.
Yeah, Papa Shot Twitter hot in these streets.
I know you're a big Papa Shot player, right?
I talk a big game. But
well, we haven't even seen it.
But you have the game.
We don't even know if this exists. She keeps talking about it, doing her little left-handed jumper.
Yeah, it's almost like we have a wacky morning show and should have a Papa Shot machine in here at some point. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe we can make a
some
segment
bobbleheads too.
Maybe. Hey, I'm in.
It's like a unicorn.
I wouldn't mind a Papa Shot.
Neither would I. Neither would I.
Really
Let's
would
do
not.
it.
All right, great stuff. We'll talk to you in a bit. Let's talk about those L.A. Rams. They may have started their offseason workout program just yesterday, but reigning Defensive Player of the Year Aaron Donald did not. He was not there, and our very own Taylor Bisciotti has more from Thousand Oaks.
Thanks, Kate. The Rams had one of the biggest turnarounds in NFL history last year, going 11-5 and making the playoffs for the first time since 2004. They kicked things off on Monday for the beginning of voluntary offseason workouts. All players were here, including their recent acquisitions, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, Brandon Cooks. All players except for one. Aaron Donald was a no-show. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year is entering the 5th and final year in his rookie contract, and he's looking for a long-term deal. The Rams have said they want to have him here. The plan is to have him here. Head coach Sean McVay spoke on Monday. He said the two have been in communication. The dialogue is good. It's far better now than it was even last year at this time. One player who was here was safety LaMarcus Joyner, who signed his $11.3 million franchise tag on Monday.
I'm sure he is happy. I'm sure they're happy to get that done. Great stuff from Taylor. Love seeing you on Good Morning Football back here at the breakfast table. Thoughts on the Rams, on Aaron Donald, obviously arguably the best player on the Rams, one of the best defensive players in the league. Who's the face of the Rams?
Sean McVay.
Do you remember? Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going right in with boy genius, boy wonder, young Sheldon. I feel like with what he brings to the table and all of these faces, oftentimes it's going to direct you to who's the mastermind. You mentioned something earlier about Frankenstein. It was a reference. I forgot.
Yeah, the science experiment.
Yeah, science. This is a science experiment. But when you're looking at the science experiment, think about the projects when we had those science experiments when we were younger. We didn't really pay attention to what was going on. We kind of paid attention to who was controlling it. So that's what we're looking at. I'm going to look at all these players making plays, but constantly, when I'm watching the Rams, I'm going to be paying attention to the sidelines. One of my favorite clips from last year is Sean McVay sitting on the water cooler, peeking up at his defense, just casually looking like, okay, when we get back on the field, I got some things for that deep. And that's what I want to pay attention to. So, of course, it's Wade on the defense side of the ball, son of bum. But Sean McVay, as of right now, is the face of this.
Right. If he's young Sheldon, is Jared Goff what, Kaylee Cuoco? I don't know what that world is. But we don't.
Don't make me feel less included because I don't watch Big Bang Theory.
I definitely don't watch it. I know Kaylee Cuoco. She shows up
You
places.
watch it like he watches Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, Peter, you whiffed on that one hard.
I got it completely right until you called me out on it.
I mean, your poker face whiffed.
No, they were driving an engine through the sands of Arabia, and he's got a mask on. I had it.
I
That was
truly.
it. And guess what? Say Big Bang. A bunch of nerds talk about science and make quips, and it's a laugh track. There you go.
Johnny Galecki, that's the guy. We don't talk about Jared Goff very much on the show. I don't know why. He's a #1 pick, California kid, incredible season last year. I actually do know why. It's because we're talking about all these teammates he brings together, and Gurley and Donald and all these guys. But Jared Goff was the difference. Remember Jeff Fisher, Jared Goff? It was not pretty. We were like, this guy might be a bust. All the dumb jokes about knowing where the sun rises. Then McVay shows up, young Sheldon, and Jared Goff's like, all right, we're good for the next, 13 years. Jared Goff, I know he doesn't get the pub, but he is the face of the team. If not the most important player by far. Jared Goff doesn't work. These guys don't work.
I'm looking at these highlights and all this, and we're talking about young Sheldon. To me, I'm going with Aaron Donald, and the CBS show is that one that's called Scorpion.
Oh, yeah, McPhee. Catherine McPhee's in that.
Scorpion.
Okay.
And the reason why is...
Catherine McPhee guy?
I got the McFever. Yeah.
I've never seen that show either, but I hear it's tremendous. And the reason I say Aaron Donald is that it all goes through him. And they've been showing this thing. They've got this great Facebook watch series I've been watching called Behind the Grind.
Okay.
And they go through these guys in their offseason. And Aaron Donald is in the basement of what looks like his childhood home, where he's not at practice with the Rams. He's not living his LA life. He's in Pittsburgh in like 80 feet below.
What's he doing?
Just doing crazy lifting with chains, like savage type stuff. And I'm thinking, all the glamour, all the glitz, all the stuff with Sean McVay and the frosted tips, all that.
Yeah.
It all starts up front. Aaron Donald being a savage, being a scorpion up front. And that's where that team, to me, really bears itself. That's really the truth.
What is that called? The Facebook thing?
Behind the grind.
I cannot wait to watch that. But I got to ask you guys. Last year we had this conversation.
Yeah.
The LA Rams had a billboard up for season tickets. Who was on the billboard?
I think it was Goff.
Jared Goff was on
Yeah.
the billboard, and we had a debate here at the breakfast table, like, who else would you put on that billboard?
Yeah.
So it's sort of weird, like Jared Goff's on this billboard to sell season tickets. It is crazy to me that we are having this conversation right now because there's like a million stars that you would put on that billboard outside of Goff. Who would you now put on that billboard in LA on the 101?
I put Gurley. I put Todd Gurley, and I would not do it
So to
a
me,
tight
he's the face of the
headshot.
franchise.
Yeah, because when he jumps over tacklers, Kay, it gets really cool on the 101.
Him
I'm going,
hurdling?
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
I would.
You're not putting Goff on the billboard anymore. You're not putting Aaron Donald on the billboard. Who are you putting on the billboard?
Gurley. Actually, I might put McVay on the billboard. They like that on the 405,
That's
right?
it.
I know, I'm into that. It caused a traffic accident.
What about Talib, Peters, Sue, and Cooks? And they say,
Right.
2018. Like 2017 was that.
Boom.
Come on. Join us.
Yeah, you need
It's
a big
crazy that you
billboard.
can have an argument for all of them.
Yeah, you really could.
Wild. And last year it was they put Goff
sitcom
on it.
intro.
There really wasn't much else to do.
No, it was his face, and it was like a poker face. It was not compelling.
Great stuff. All right, he went from an unknown recruit to the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year. I have an awesome draft story for you. I found, guys, this year's